What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Next Fitness Show. This is Alexis Craig. I am here with you live today. I'm your host, and I'm here with a co-host today. Yay! We have Trainer Kathy in the house. Welcome.
Hello,
Awesome.
hello.
Welcome. All right, Kathy's going to be here the whole show. She honestly is probably going to do more of the show than I am today. So that's a good thing. It's going to be awesome. All right, so just let's go ahead, get started. What are we going to do? Today on the show, we have an awesome topic with Kathy. It is Wellness Rewritten, an intro to Ayurveda. And if you don't know anything about Trainer Kathy, will you tell us a little bit about yourself? I'm going to put this is a little bit about Kathy, but what do you want us to know?
Well, I absolutely love this video or that photo because it says, exactly what I have been, right? I have a degree in biology. I did clinical research. I've been a stay-at-home mom. I've got twins. I'm certified yogi, hit and flow, swim instructor. It's all these things, right? Life coach, blogger, influencer, manifesting generator lover. And, it's all the things because my superpower is my curiosity, and that's what leads everything for me. And how I got into Ayurveda, right? So yeah, that really leads us into the topic of the
Perfect.
day.
Okay. I just have to say, I have a sense of what Ayurveda is. I learned a little bit about it at yoga teacher training, but a lot of times I bring it up and people are like, I
Huh?
what? What is Ayurveda? So will you tell us what is Ayurveda? Why are we talking about this today?
Well, I am of the same. When I did my yoga teacher training, I had heard about it before, around because I do have a lot of friends that are of Indian descent. And so, when I did my yoga teacher training, I just heard about it more. And so I did a little bit of a deep dive. And so Ayurveda it's over 4,000 years old.
Wow.
It's been practiced in India for thousands of years. So, we have Western knowledge, they have Eastern knowledge, and it's been around forever. The word itself comes from, obviously, from Sanskrit. It means Ayur, which is the first part, life, and Veda, which is knowledge. So it
Oh,
literally
wow.
means knowledge of life. And it's really at its core, it's that idea that our bodies are unique. We have our own unique blueprint, and our wellness should match ourselves and not just something generic, right? So it looks at how our body, mind, and our spirit are connected. It looks at our natural constitution, right? We'll get into that in a little bit. The Vata, Pitta, Kapha, the doshas. And it looks at things like food, movement, sleep, and the seasons and how each of those affect you. And instead of fixing our symptoms, we learn to create balance for our bodies. Because what works for your body, what works for everybody that's listening, here is different from what will work for me, right? How we eat should also be directed by the seasons. And I think that is a really big one that I started to utilize not only in my own life, but in my retreats and workshops and things like that. I did Ayurveda inspired, and that's what I always listed it because it wasn't complete all the time, it wasn't pure Ayurveda. But, the whole idea is that when we eat to the seasons and what is seasonally going on in the world, right? In our world, our bodies are ready for that season. We don't eat strawberries in
Mm,
winter because our bodies don't want strawberries in winter. So when we eat strawberries in winter, I'm just using that as an example. Because they're accessible now globally, we can go to the
right.
grocery store and buy strawberries in winter. But
Right.
our bodies are craving, the warm foods, the comfort foods, because it's
Right.
winter, a little spice because it's
Squash.
cold outside.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so, whenever I did a retreat, the meal was created with that in mind, right? I had
Awesome.
cooling things
Hmm.
in summer, I had warming things in fall and winter. And really it's about learning what our bodies love and not judging our bodies and our body's response based on how things work for somebody else, right?
Right. I
So,
love that. Okay. So before we go any deeper, I'm just curious. I want to make
Yeah.
sure everybody understands. My understanding of this is that Ayurveda is almost like a practice of medicine.
Yes.
Like, and it's not only food, right? I
Right.
mean, it is. I would love to hear more. I know we're probably going to talk about it a lot from the perspective of food because that's like the
Right.
kind of an easy way to do it. Like it's one of the easiest first step through the door with it, I think.
Right.
But what else can you look at through the perspective of Ayurveda?
Well, first let's talk about the doshas, right?
Okay,
I
perfect.
kind of mentioned those, right? It's Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And you can kind of see that on the screen, right? And we do have that little disclaimer, right? Is knowing your dosha can help you. It defines your makeup, and you really should learn what yours is. And so Vata is ether or air. So you're thinking, so some of us are Vata, some of us are Pitta, action. I got a lot of action, I got a lot of energy, right? And some people are more chill, Kapha, grounded, earth, right? And so some are airy, like, woo, yeah, creative. Those are that, like I said, body, mind, spirit. And so when you look at your dosha, if I'm in Pitta, lots of energy, I'm not going to want to eat hot, spicy foods. I'm also not going to want to eat something heavy because my body is, elevated in the pitta, right? And so all of this fits in to your body, your mind, your spirit. And that's why later we've got a screen that has resources. And one of those is a website that I love that actually breaks it down into 5 different categories. So you
Hmm.
answer a bunch of questions and it gives you what you are and it breaks it down where your number is for each of those categories. So while my body might be more Vata Kapha, my mind, my the way I work can be very earthy and calming, even though I have energy, right? So when you have an excess of something, that's when your body feels bad. That's why I run warm, right? Not everybody does. So, and that's part of the pitta, the fire in me. And so the last thing I do well is, well, being in Arizona in 95 degrees, right? Doing hot yoga. I
Uh-huh.
can't,
Same. I can't do it. I
right?
can't do it.
And
I'm
so,
also very pitta. I cannot do hot
right?
yoga.
My body is very pitta. So that's why I can jump in and do cold plunges where someone that's more kapha, more earth, which
Yes.
is a friend of mine. She
Hmm.
loves, she hates cold plunges. She loves the sauna. She loves the hot air. I run hot. I don't like that.
Right, because it brings everyone to
Right?
balance. I always think of this like a triangle,
Yes.
and that each of these is in one corner of the triangle, and everyone's all three, right? I mean, we
Yes.
all have all these elements, and then
Yes.
it's like if you're in balance, you're kind of in the center of the triangle between the earth and the fire and the
Hmm.
water, and you're balanced. But if you're leaning really far into one corner of the triangle, and then like I already am pitta, so let's say I'm down here in this corner of the triangle. And then if I eat spicy food and also do hot yoga, it's going to put me so far over here.
Heartburn, right?
Right.
Heartburn, racing
Or
thoughts,
get a
all of those
sunburn.
things. Yes, right. So Vata. So to give you a breakdown, so Vata governs movement, circulation, the central nervous system, and activity. Right. So people with that dominant Vata tend to be slim, energetic, creative, quick thinking, but they may experience dryness, anxiety, and irregular digestion when out of balance. So
Hmm.
it's really such a whole body experience. It's where our minds go racing because we're leaning too much into this. And it's about then, okay, well, if that's what's happening, here's the tools that I know I have to balance it. So if I'm too much in the vata, I'll add pitta or kapha
Hmm.
to bring that
Hmm.
that that racing mind down.
Yep.
I'm going to go ground.
Yep.
Does that
That
make
makes
sense?
sense. A hundred
Right?
percent to me. Yep.
And
Right.
so,
It's like how if I'm like the bathtub is such a resource to me because
yes.
I'm so pitta, and then I can bring myself to a more balanced place by sitting in the bathtub. And the bathtub is going to just be so watery, it brings me down.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so Pitta governs metabolism, digestion, energy production, right? Like I said, I'm high Pitta naturally. So, I've got a lot of energy. So, people with Pitta dominant can we have a medium build, we're strong-willed, we're intelligent, focused, maybe become overheated and irritable and prone to inflammation if we're imbalanced. So again, it's body, mind, spirit.
You're
And
describing me again. Yep,
I
yep.
know.
Right.
Well,
When
and
I'm
that's
out of
why,
balance, I get angry.
yes.
Some
Well,
people get out of balance and they're tired or they get flighty. I'm like,
right. And so what I love is that when you figure out your dosha, right, or your breakdown in your dosha, your body may be one thing, but your mind may be another. Your emotions will be a completely different one and another one for fitness. And
Hmm,
the ratios between them can be different. That's what I love about the quiz. Like I said, the one that I recommend, it breaks it down to 5 categories. And it
interesting.
makes,
Never heard that before.
yeah, that's because most websites that you go to, when you go, oh, I want to do a dosha quiz, what's my dosha?
Right.
It'll give you one category.
Right. I just thought that meant that that was what you are for everything.
Nope,
Huh.
nope.
Interesting.
And so that's why I used to I found one that broke it down into body and mind, but this one breaks it down even more. And it's why, I don't want to get negative on personality quizzes. But there are personality quizzes that are positive. But when I want to figure out how my body works, my body, my mind, my spirit, and find that balance for me, a personality quiz isn't going to do anything. I had a personality quiz someone was doing a workshop on, and I did the quiz, and one whole side I couldn't answer for me. It's like there's 4 choices and none of those work for me, or 2 choices
Mm,
and none of them work for me. What I loved about this particular quiz that I recommend, it tells you check everything that applies.
I see. I
Because
see.
so sometimes it's like anything. Sometimes you're really one, you're really the other, and sometimes you're a little of both. And that's what helps you find that balance. And I think those of us who work in fitness and who work in wellness and do these things, we naturally find that we're tridoshic in most areas because we've learned to find the balance in our own lives.
Right.
And that's what it is. It's about balancing outside influences and inside influences. So
I
yeah.
love that idea, balancing outside and inside influences.
And
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
super interesting.
depending on how you're feeling, right? And of course there's foods you can eat for your dosha, and I put that in one of the references too, or resources too, because there are foods that are really good for someone who is vata, and there's ones that are not so good, right? So we're pitta, right? If we were highly pitta, when it came to our digestion, hard alcohol, ginger tea, lemon tea, sweet fruit juices, spicy herb tea, right? Heavy things are hard for us. Room temperature water is perfect, like chamomile,
Hmm.
hibiscus, right? It's one of the things I learned later in life that's why I love hibiscus tea. In
Interesting.
summer, it's one of the only teas I love drinking with ice.
Huh.
Well, in summer because, it's exactly right for my body, so it totally made sense. So, it's recognizing these things for your body, and that's what I have here, right? What you eat, how you move, and then how you move also includes there are yoga poses that if you're leaning one direction and you need a little bit more kapha, think of it, tree pose, grounding, right? You need a little more pitta, you're going to do pigeon pose, right? It's a little more challenging, a side plank, right? You're adding heat and fire and challenge to your body.
Mm.
Vata, air, would be child's pose, right? A forward fold. those kinds of things, pyramid
Hmm.
pose. There's poses for Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And so when you're out of balance, like I said, when I'm out of balance and too much in my head, I'm going to go ground.
Right, right. That makes sense.
So
Yeah.
yeah. And
Um,
then there's like I have here the rhythm of the cycle. So I talk about this a lot. Like you said, the triangle, when you gave that description of the triangle, it's
mhm.
so perfect. When we think about our lives, Vata is air, but it's also ideas and creativity, right? And Pitta is action, taking steps. Kapha is grounding, earthing, earth, relax, chill. We can get stuck in any of those. And so if we think of that triangle, when we're stuck in one, we know, oh, well, I'm kind of been stuck in my kapha. I just want to chill and do stuff at home, but I
Right. I just want to
need,
lay on the couch and do nothing else.
right? So you go into your vata, right? Okay, what can I do to get out of this mode, right? You
And what
start
would
to
it look
think,
like to go into your Vata? Like, how would you actually do it?
for me, it's creation, right? I love ideas and I get ideas from outside, but I'll go on Instagram to things that I enjoy watching, right? I'll start working on a worksheet, right? Or something in my Canva. That's why
Okay.
sometimes you get all of a sudden, I've done a bunch of assets for the
Uh-huh.
social media all in one day because I was doing a bunch of chill and all of a sudden I'm like, I get an idea and I run with it. And that pushes me into the doing, which is pitta,
Got it.
right? But say you're in the creative brain and you've got all these ideas, but you're not taking any steps to move forward, that's moving into your pitta. So you're going to figure out, okay, what's one step I can take to get me out of the idea phase into the doing phase?
Mm.
But I think the biggest trek that is hard for a lot of people to make is we're so focused in Western society on the doing, right? We are successful if we're doing.
Yep.
That's why we have overwhelm. That's why we have people that are in burnout, like a lot, because they haven't done the kapha. They're so busy
Mm.
in the pitta, they haven't done the kapha. They haven't. I literally just wrote something for my next women's group. And it's called The Power of the Pause
Mm-hmm.
because it's
Mm-hmm.
so powerful. They're like, I'm stuck over here in the doing, but I'm not coming up with new ideas. That's because you haven't given your body the rest, your body, your mind, your spirit, the rest that it needs.
Right. And there's
So,
like lots of shame in our culture around
yes,
that, actually. Both the rest and even the kapha body type of
yes,
having a heavier body that can be a totally healthy body.
yes.
It's just, I mean, it's very natural to have a heavier body. Like,
And I think I love what you just said there because there is so much shame in all of the shapes, right? The
sure.
Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And there is so much that we put on ourselves that we need to be these thin, skinny, ideal size
Right.
0 or
Right.
2,
Which is
right?
vata body, right?
Right. Vata body is that,
Mhm.
which is great if that's what you are
Right.
naturally, right? But if you aren't, and you're trying to be that, think of all the issues you're telling your body, mind, and spirit. You're going against what your natural state is. Healthy for me used to be more vata, right? I was kind of probably a size 2. But again, as I aged, my my doshas changed, right?
Right.
I
And that's something
became
Marissa's
more,
asking right now. Can someone's doshas change over time?
yes. And it's really they recommend looking at your doshas and that makeup every 6 months, give yourself a but also if you're struggling, think about where you were as a kid because where you were as a child is before everybody put everything else on top of you.
Mm.
So if you were as a child like me, like I said, I was vata, right?
Mm.
Vata now would not be healthy. I'm 5'8". I was 120 pounds when I got married.
Hmm.
I couldn't gain weight. I would eat plates of spaghetti, right? Because my metabolism burned so fast in that pitta, right? So I was Vata Pitta, and it burned so fast that it was natural for me not to gain weight back then,
Hmm.
right? But now that size on my 60-year-old body, can you imagine the grief that people give me if I got down to
Hmm.
that size?
I
Because
mean,
it wouldn't look healthy,
right,
right? So it's really sitting down and figuring out where you were, where you are, and finding that balance for yourself too.
right, right. And this brings me to okay. So when I was first learning about this, it was right around the time that I became a shamanic cheerleader, which is like, spiritual healing through cheerleading comedy act. Shout out to Reina Satori. And so I got to learn the doshas through the shamanic cheerleader Ayurveda cheer. Would you like to hear it?
Nice. Yes.
All right, here it is. You ready? Ready? Om Okay, Ayurveda. Okay, Vata. Go, go, go. Pitta. Onward ho. Kapha. Take it slow. Vata. Go, go, go. Pitta. Onward ho. Kapha. Take it slow. Oh no, we have a dosha imbalance. A dosha imbalance. Vata. Pitta. Kapha. And that's our cheer.
I love it. But it's so true, right? And I think that's the key. When we talk about the doshas, you talk about we've talked before about the chakras, right? And I always told people, you're looking at a system that didn't have the knowledge we have today, right? It didn't say it's your central nervous system. It
Right,
didn't say it's your reproductive system. It said,
right,
right? It said it was your sacral or your splenic, or, it talked about it differently.
right.
And
It's a
and
different language to describe the same thing, basically.
correct. And
Mhm.
and like I said, so much today we put on ourselves, our bodies, our minds, our spirits, things that really shouldn't be attached to us, right? They don't work for
Mm.
us. And that's okay. I
Like, what do
literally,
you mean?
so for me, right? What would I do if I lost 15 pounds, right? Because I have a lot of friends out there losing a lot of weight
Okay.
on GLP-1s,
Yeah, right.
right? If so my body, and I really truly believe this, because I don't get hungry. And I've said this to multiple people. I literally do not have the hunger gene, which is
Mm.
what people are giving themselves naturally, right? They're giving themselves in the GLP-1 what I
Right. It
have
makes you not
probably an
hungry.
overabundance of, right? Because I don't get hungry,
Okay.
right? But I can't starve my body. I have to eat, because if I starve my body, it tells my body to hold on to everything, right?
Mm.
Because my natural body wants that protein. Where other people get hungry for other things, I get hungry for protein because what? I have pitta, a lot of energy.
Okay.
And my body knows by naturally being hungry for protein that that's going to give me the energy I need over a sustained period of time, versus someone who gets the craving naturally or unnaturally for a carb. That's the spot on hot, here's your energy, but then it burns out real quick. My body knows it needs that sustained, right? If I don't feed it, it holds on to everything, right? But if I gave it something that I already have a lot of, what's that going to do to my body? What's my body going to say, right? So if I already don't get hungry, if I took something to make me not hungry, right? A GLP-1, because that's what that does, that hunger gene, um, I I won't eat at all, and my body will fight me,
Mm.
right? And so there's other ways to think of that as well, but that's the one that comes off of my head right off the bat,
Hmm.
right? Is that if I do things that I don't need, right, instead of things that I do need, I'm going to get even worse. So if I just sat and I didn't do that triangle and I just sat forever, I'm going to feel lethargic.
Right.
I'm going to feel heavy and depressed because my natural state is balancing all three. And so if I'm leaning into one and I get stuck in that one, if I add more pitta, y'all don't want to see me on 2 cups of coffee. Red Bull is like, there's no way that's going in my body. Why?
No.
Because I have a lot of pitta, a lot of energy. So if I add even more things to stimulate it, my heartbeat is racing,
Hmm.
not calming.
Right. Makes my anxiety go through the roof too.
Through
That's
the
what happens
roof,
for me. Mhm.
right? And so, so many of the things that are out there, if we know what our dosha is, right? If we know what the natural state, honestly, not what we want it to be, but what we naturally lean towards, then we know what is going to harm us, body, mind, and spirit. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, totally. That's like I totally understand what you're saying. It's like if you're already in one corner of the triangle, don't keep going further into the corner of the triangle, is what I hear you
Right.
saying.
Well,
Yeah,
if I'm full of energy, going for a run is great. Boxing is great because that's burning up my energy. But I also know that sitting will not help me either sometimes.
right.
Right. And we tell people all the time, right? Listen to your body. You hear that in a yoga class 100%, but how many people listen to their body, mind, and spirit, right? What does my mind need right now? Not just what does my body need, movement, feeding it, right? Things like that. But what does my mind need, right? My mind needs to shut off all of the news because my mind will naturally race through and stuck in that. So the first thing I'm doing is turning it off,
Right. So,
right?
okay, how do people know if they have this intention,
Right.
and then how do they know what the quality is of the of whatever it is, like the given food, or like I notice I am really lethargic, and so I need to move into the other two doshas. Okay, so then how do I know what the quality how do I know which foods to go for is my
Well,
question.
and that's one of the reasons I put that on. If you go to the next slide, it's got the
Okay,
resources
great.
because one of them is called Joyful Belly, right? And I love that. And what should I eat or avoid to balance my dosha? So Banyan botanicals, there's Joyful Belly is another one. And so Banyan botanicals, that what do I eat or avoid to balance my dosha, also has recipes. They have if I have an over imbalance, what do I eat to balance that out? So if I'm high pitta right now, I would eat kapha or vata, right?
Right.
To bring me more in balance,
Hmm.
right? Does that make sense?
Yep. Yep. And I'll put these links in the description below for those of you who are watching this as a replay too, to make it easier to find them. So, okay, I see that the top one, the
The
Ayurveda
book.
Idiot's Guides, those are books. Okay. And then
That is a book,
so this
and
one.
that's when I really took my deeper dive because when I did my life coaching certification, so it's called a soul purpose certification, Sahara Rose was one of the founders. And she's the one who wrote this book. And so I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, that's, I've wanted to learn more, but I didn't need a resource like I was a practitioner, right?
Sure.
I needed something that I could read and it would break it down into much more sense. It's a great resource for finding all these other things as well. Like if you want a book and you want to start practicing this and figuring these things out, and what do I eat here and what do I do there? If I'm in this mood, I mean, we could do, like I said, I did a whole retreat on this.
Hmm.
And so we really went a little bit deeper into what is natural for each of these body types, physically, mentally, socially, right? When your movement is there, because your dosha can decide your time of day for exercise too.
Interesting. I should check that out. I'm really curious about that.
So it's a really great book, and that's why I put it on here, right?
Nice.
And it's such a wonderful resource where other sites may focus on one part of it. It's meant to be an overall view
Right,
of
very
everything.
accessible too, it
Yes.
seems like. Uh-huh.
And like
Okay,
I
and
said,
then this is the quiz that you were
yep,
referring to. Is this what is my dosha? So I have my mom in the chat right here saying, and the survey will define for us our current levels. That's what she wanted.
yes,
That was her question.
yep. You'll
P.S. I missed this one. Aaron says, don't pick on my strawberry obsession.
Well, but that's the thing. We always tell everybody, give yourself grace, right? If you get a hankering for strawberries and they're at the grocery store, I'm not going to kick you in the patootie because you eat a strawberry. I eat strawberries. I eat things that probably are not. I love sugars.
Sure,
Hello,
of course.
right?
Well, also just to say, of course, there are still some fresh strawberries, depending
Yes,
where you live at what time. But if you're having the strawberry frozen, which is how I typically would have it in the winter, right? Is
yes,
I'm gonna have a frozen strawberry in the winter.
right.
It's gonna even change the dosha even more because it's like not if I'm eating the
Not
strawberry
fresh.
frozen, it's different than eating it fresh, and it's different than eating it cooked, right? Those are all
Correct.
gonna change,
Right.
right?
And that's what I loved about Banyan Botanicals and what do I eat or avoid to balance your dosha. When you're tridoshic,
Nice.
it's really about really listening to your body, right? So some people are tridoshic. Some people lean more to one and have a little of another. That's why I love the quiz that I took and why I really did the deep dive after two of the resources I had before weren't working. And I'm like, yeah, no, not this one, not this one, do this one, because you want to know what works for you. And it's
Nice.
really about learning and listening to your body, mind, and spirit at all times. And this is just giving you another tool to go, you know what? I watch that person and they are like running like no man's business and I can't run. Well, it's not that you can't run. Maybe your body doesn't feel like running today. Maybe
Right.
your body isn't made for that particular type of movement to be its main source of movement, right?
Sure. And I mean, it can also have to do with your menstrual cycle or something like that
Exactly.
too.
And
Um,
those are all parts of it. It's like,
right.
there's no one size fits all. And in a
Kelly's
world
saying, can
where
you add
everybody
those to
says
the
it
chat?
is,
Yes, we will add them to the description of this video afterward. I can't put it in the live chat very easily, but I can put it in to the description of this video after so you can find it. And then the only other thing I want to bring up
yeah.
before we move on is this. We're bringing up these very practical, everyday kind of uses for Ayurveda as medicine, and it's very like a fine tuning, attunement. And my understanding is that this is actually like a medicine practice also,
Yes.
so that if you have like a bigger issue going on with your body, that this balancing your doshas in this way could actually be life changing for you and help you to heal from something major going on in your body. And there are actual like Vedic doctors
Yes.
that can help you with that, especially with like my experience. I haven't been to one, but I've spoken to a lot of clients and friends. They usually seem like they tell you what to eat, what not to eat. They also tell you like which herbs to take and things
Yes.
like that. Do you have any experience with the Vedic
I
doctor?
I have not gone to an Ayurvedic practitioner. That is one of my goals in life, right? Is to
It's
do
on
that.
your bucket list?
It's on my
Uh-huh.
bucket list. But that's why I put in the disclaimer, right? Under those recommends is, go to a Vedic practitioner. I'm not one.
Right.
right?
This is like intro, so you get understand what the concept is. Yeah.
Right. But, a lot of times Western medicine, because we don't look at these things, right? We've talked about this before. Doctors do not do nutrition classes. Everybody wants to
Like at
list
all.
their doctor tells them this, you should eat this. I'm like, really? What's your background in nutrition and nutrition for my body? Right? And so it's really going, okay, well, maybe if something's wrong with me, it's not easily found in Western medicine. What can it hurt to open your mind just a teeny bit
Right.
and say, you know what? I'm going to check a holistic practitioner, right? I'm a homeopathic, right? I'm going to try Ayurvedic and see what each of these come up with, and maybe they have a clue.
Right.
I mean,
It's a different perspective.
a
Right.
different perspective. I mean, honest to God, I had a friend visiting. She started having heart palpitations,
Oh, wow.
her tachycardia, took her to
Yeah.
the ER, and they're doing all the heart tests and all these other kinds of things. And we're talking as I'm sitting in the ER with her, as they're running all these tests, and I'm asking her questions. The doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. And I'm like, it sounds like each time this happens, this is what's going on. This is the time of day, because she'd had it happen once before. She
Right.
tells this thing to the doctor, but they're not listening, right? And I'm like, it really sounds like your gut is all out of balance. And she knows I'm a degreed biologist. I am not a doctor. I am
Right.
not a medical practitioner. And I said, it sounds like maybe you need something that's going to bring that acid in your belly down, because when she was describing it to me, it was here. It was more
Mm.
heartburn response, right? Because the heartburn where it hits you is right by your heart.
Hmm.
So the racing was not her heart. It was her heart, but in response to her H. pylori level being super high, her gastric juices going up there and just pounding on her esophagus,
Whoa.
which it's energy, right? It's
That's interesting. Marissa is
right.
saying that she's been to a Vedic practitioner and they were awesome, she says.
Nice.
And my
Good
mom's
job.
asking, are there many of these doctors? Yes,
Mhm.
yes,
Yes.
yes. Um, and what was the other thing? Oh, the other thing I want to mention with this is like this, if you have an experience of Chinese medicine, there are some similarities in my
Yes.
understanding. I'm obviously not an expert, but my understanding is that the Ayurvedic system has three elements and that the Chinese medicine system has maybe five or something
Yeah.
like that. And so, but the concept is very similar of balancing the different elements to bring vitality. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're talking about all the time is balancing to bring vitality, right? So it totally makes sense that that would be what to do.
Yeah. Well, and
Nice.
we get, I use this all the time with my clients, that triangle, right?
Yeah.
Because they get stuck in the doing of work in everyday life. And and it's all the excuses. And that's a whole nother show of why we have to get stuck in the doing. And they don't even give themselves 10 minutes. And 10 minutes, give yourself the moment to take 3 breaths. And I tell them this all the time. I have a recording for it. So just go out and take 3 breaths. I'll guide you through 3 breaths. What's that going to do? In the midst of that energy going way up here, it's going to calm you down even just a little. So
Mhm.
those ideas or those other things that you have to get done, you're not stuck in the doing. You start to come up with those ideas. When we say take the power of the pause or go to the Kapha phase, we don't say you have to go to the Kapha phase for 3 days, right? We say go into the Kapha phase, take that pause for however long you can and you need. And so every situation is different. Every body is different, right? So yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for coming here and talking to us about this. It's been rich. I can see that you piqued a lot of people's curiosity. So that's
Nice.
awesome. And we'll put all those resources just in the description so you all can find them. And right now it's time for our stretch break. Stretch break.
Stretch
And
break.
since Kathy is our guest, we did the stretch break of Kathy's choosing. So here is the stretch break of Kathy's choosing. Oh, I have to make the other thing go down. There we go. Can you see it now? I think so.
Nice.
All right. So this, Kathy, what is this and why did you choose it?
So this is Veronica going from a forward fold to a malasana squat. You know, obviously everybody can't get down into that malasana squat, and that's okay too. It's really about getting into that forward fold, stretching those hamstrings. You're getting everything moving here, right? And so for a stretch, it feels good on my hips. It feels good, right? I gets my core activated. It stretches my hamstrings. It does all the things. And I
Yep.
can do it like when I'm waiting for a run to start.
Totally. Yeah, I love this one. For me, this is a great it's just so good for scrubbing the hips. It
Yeah.
really allows for the hip mobility. And I love that it's in a position that's a little wider than you would normally do in the forward fold. So it gives you the hamstring stretch is a little different than the feet together version.
Yes.
Um, Also, if you're doing this in Malasana with keeping the heels down, that's going to be really helpful for ankle mobility. And then my favorite part of this is to go deep into the Malasana. So when you get down
Yes.
in there, to pull your heart forward like a
Yes.
bow and arrow.
Well, and I recommend everybody who's going to try this for the first time, stick a block going this direction under your bum
Ooh,
because
okay.
that can help you. Maybe you don't reach that block. Some of my people put one block going this direction, the other going on top. And maybe you can't get down to a full malasana, but you can get this position and slowly work your way down by changing the where that block is and how high it is.
I love that idea. That's a great idea. Cool. Okay, thank you for that resource.
Welcome.
Nice. Okay, and so that is our stretch break. I hope you guys practiced along with us. And it has now come. Let's see if I can get this up in a fast way. Of course not.
And I did put in the chat the resources.
Oh, thank you. It's in the chat of our chat, but it's
Yeah.
not in the chat yet of the thing. So
Yes, exactly. Not of
it'll
YouTube,
get there to YouTube, I promise. We'll get it there.
but
Okay, it's time for the move of the week. All right, so the move of the week is also of Kathy's choosing this week. And this move of the week this week is, I'm going to show two of them at the same time today. The move of the week this week is bent over row. Boom, bent over row.
yes.
Okay, so you can see here a version with Rosie and also a version with Mary Beth here. So Kathy also chose this. Why did you choose Ben over Row?
Do you know how many times I did that last weekend doing yard work?
That's why you chose this. What were
Yes.
you doing? What were you actually
I
doing?
was I was well, I was lifting moss. I had demossed a hill and I was lifting the moss and I was putting it in the bucket to the wagon to take it to the green waste. So I was doing a lot of lifting and pulling. You're pulling weeds. What are you doing?
Okay,
Pulling it up,
got it. Uh-huh.
right?
Gardening. It's
Gardening.
National Gardening Month right now.
Yes.
Yep, yep,
Yes. And
yep.
so I love this move because of it. And it feels so strong when you do it. I mean, look at Rosie. She's pulling those shoulder blades, right? When she's lifting up and you're engaging your core. It's just yumminess. And it feels so
Yeah, I
powerful.
this is what a move that I feel like is really important for people to do well and is
Yes.
often not done well. We're highlighting this today. I want to point out, do you see how Rosie, when she starts the movement right here, her arms are straight, she goes shrug and pull. Her shoulder blades squeeze together and her arms follow through after. So it's
Yes.
squeeze and pull. A lot of times people do this kind of like a bicep curl
Yeah.
where, here, I'm going to stop sharing, where it's kind of like they do it kind of like this and they're more like doing this curl. And what you
Yeah.
really want to do is shoulders down, back, and then your arms move.
Yeah.
And if you don't feel like you have access to be able to move your shoulders without bending your elbows, that is really letting you know you are probably not doing this move correctly.
Yeah.
I'll also say it's easier to do it right when your weights are heavier.
Yeah.
Light weights are conducive to doing it wrong.
Well,
So,
I mean, if you think about it, again, we talked about pulling weeds, but you bring groceries in, you're pulling the groceries off the floor. There you go.
yeah. Oh, totally. You do this all the time. I mean,
All the
picking things up,
time.
you do it all the time. All right, I want to show one more thing. I love both of the people in these videos are keeping a neutral spine and doing a good job of that. So from the
Yeah.
head to the tail, they're doing a great job. And what
Full
do you
alignment.
often see in class when people go to do this move? Will you demonstrate? Here, I'm going to pin you. What do you see if when people do this, they don't keep the neutral spine? What does that look like?
Well, I can't, I'm not in a space. I
All
can
right,
do
I could do it if you want. Here, it looks like this.
right.
They're hunched over and they're doing it like this. Hunched, hunched.
See, and
The
I see a
position
lot
that
of
you're in when you build the strength. Yeah, what do you see?
sway back, butt out.
Oh, yes, that too. That too. That too. That you'll see like an arched back, sticking out your butt, arched back, and you're like
Yeah.
arching into it. Either
Yeah.
one, not good. You want to keep neutral spine, and it helps to stick your butt out in the back. I will say that, let me put both of them up at the same time again. It is definitely preferred to do this more like Rosie, which means more you're hinged forward as close to parallel to the ground as you can. Like the closer to horizontal you can be, the better. Mary Beth is like 45-degree angle or so, which is a lot more up. It's not wrong. It is a regression. It makes it easier in your core, which is good, but it's gonna put this is meant to be a back exercise. And if
Yeah.
the more upright you are, the more you're using your shoulders, which is not what you're meant to be using in this exercise. So the more that you can get into the full on parallel to the ground position, the more that you're going to actually use your back. Plus, it's more core work too. So that makes it more challenging.
Well, and can I'm just gonna insert
Yeah.
in here. If you don't have a mirror where you work out, get a mirror. I I mean, if you can, have something that you can look at when you're doing some of these moves, or set up a time with one of the personal trainers that you can do the move and yes, they can, we can see you in class, but where they can watch you and cue you specifically right there in the moment,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
you may think you're like this, but if you're not looking in the mirror, you may think you're in alignment, but if you're not looking in a mirror, we have mirrors in the studio where I teach, right, on two levels. And I'm constantly telling people to look at their bodies. You think your knee is over your ankle in that warrior two? Look in the mirror because
Totally.
half the time
So
it's
true.
not,
It's true
right?
for me too. I mean, I
Yeah.
have mirrors everywhere for that exact reason. Like,
Yes.
it's
It's
not
like
like
you're in
it's
warrior two and your back arm's over here. No, back there. I
uh,
shouldn't be able to see my arm. If I'm in alignment where I'm supposed to be, I can't see my back arm in warrior two. But it holds not just for yoga, but for every move that we do.
everything.
And
Yep.
it doesn't have to be expensive. We recycled one of the big, huge double sink mirrors. When we made two, we changed a bathroom and we put two with individual mirrors over the sink because it's more a
Yep.
guest room. We took that big mirror, turned it this way, and put it into a room.
Oh, cool. I did something similar. I got somebody getting rid of mirror closet doors.
Yes.
And they're supposed to be sliding closet doors, and they were just giving them away at the time. It was years ago, so it was Craigslist was the thing at that time.
Yeah.
And so I went on Craigslist. I got them for free too, and
Yeah.
it covered the entire wall in my room, and that just became the wall. I put my bed against it or my furniture or whatever. But
Yeah.
then I had mirrors in my room so that I could actually have a mirror wall to work with, and it was totally free
Yeah.
that I got it from.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's there's inexpensive. I go to Walmart. I have a in my studio where I teach, I usually cover it with a screen. People can't see it, but behind that screen
Mm,
are three framed mirrors next to each other so that I can see when I move
nice.
my body. You can get the mirrors that hang over a door. They make those. Same thing.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep. I have one right
Soapbox.
behind me right now. Exactly. I'm not showing you this room, but I do have one right behind me right now. Um, and then the other thing that you can do with that is if you really don't have a mirror, or if you're in a place that's not your normal place to work out or something, you could shoot a video of
Mhm.
yourself. And you won't get like immediate feedback in the moment, but you could shoot a video of yourself doing the move and watch the video of yourself doing the move. And then you'll see, oh, I'm totally hunched over on that, or whatever you
Right.
need to see. And then you can adjust accordingly. Or you could
Yes.
send it to me or
Yeah.
to Kathy and we'll help you. I mean,
Yes.
yeah.
Cool.
Cool. All right. Thank you. That was great. Okay, let's move on. We have now our announcements. Okay, Kathy and I have a big announcement. This is a super exciting announcement. I'm so glad that you get to be here on this show when we're doing this announcement. All right, our announcement is Kathy and I have been planning this. The time has come for our Flower Power 5K.
Space
Woohoo!
out.
So this is our next
Yes.
5K. It's coming quick. Our baseline is not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow. So May
Yes.
2nd is the baseline event for the Flower Power 5K. The baseline is free. So if you are not sure if you want to do the 5K, you can come to the baseline no matter what. And then we will have a training program from May 2nd to the 30th. And the actual 5K final event will be on the 30th. If you're interested and you want to learn more, you go to thenextfitnessthing.com/flower power 5K. We got that landing page up. And what else? Members get a discount. I don't know if I put the discount up yet, so I need to check that. I'll do it right after this. So if you don't see your discount, just make sure that you're getting it if you're a member.
And
Okay.
and how cool is that? I mean, when y'all see the asset, it's literally got a sun with running shoes on.
Oh
So
yeah,
cute.
it's the best. Kathy is the best with the assets for sure. And the whole thing is about basically you're kind of blooming through your
Mhm.
training program, and also it's kind of a perfect time to be all about peace and love right
Yes.
now. So it's that too. So this is, and the shirt is going to be really, really, really cute. So Flower Power 5K. All
Yes.
right. That said, our next event that we are talking about is our May event is with trainer Casey, and this is Mother's Day yoga happening
Yes.
on Mother's Day. So Mother's Day, it's on Sunday, May 10th, and Mother's Day yoga will be at 5 p.m. Pacific, which is when yin yoga usually is anyway. So if you love yin yoga, this will be a restorative class. And if you want to invite your mom, this is a free event, so you will be able to invite your mom to come for free, and or your daughter if you're a mom, or your son, it doesn't matter, whoever, your child. Um, and if you love it, then this is the same time the class usually is, so you can make a habit of it from there. Also, our next announcement is book club. Okay, so we just had April book club, and May book club is coming up. We're going to do this on the last weekend of May. It is May 31st. Now, this is supposed to be with Anna. Anna is pregnant and due on the 30th, so I have a feeling I'm going to be subbing this class. I better read the book. But Anna's very, very committed to this, so she's like, if I could do it, I'm doing it. So, Anna, we
And
love you.
isn't it a
And
movie now too?
oh, it is? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So, the book is Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover, and I guess I'll be reading this one, so that's good. Looking
Cool
forward to
beans.
it. All right. And then, so if you want to know more about the book club, this is our walking book club, nextfitnessthing.com/book club. Okay. If you're not in our Discord, join the Discord. Also, for those of you in the strength challenge, I didn't put a thing up for that. Um, You're doing great. Today's the last day of the strength challenge. You still have like 5 days or something to make up any classes that you may need to make up from the strength challenge. So go ahead and do that. And if you have not filled out the spreadsheet, then be sure to submit your results. The button is on the landing page for the strength challenge. And if you are in the strength challenge or not, make sure you're in our Discord. There is a special channel in there for every single challenge that we do, including the strength challenge and the 5K. But definitely get into Discord and yes. I'm like, is goals walk before the next show? I don't know if it is. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Maybe I should have put goals walk in here. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
No, I think it's the next one. I think it's the next one. I always forget goals
Yes, it's
walk.
after the next one.
It's after the next one. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't forget it. I didn't forget it. Okay, we have one more topic, and this is a favorite of Kathy's that I always ask the guest if they have something that's their favorite they want to share. And so what Kathy wanted to share is this. What is it? Tell us about it.
It's a massage ball and it looks bigger than it is, it's about the size, about the size of a golf ball. Maybe a little
Oh,
larger, but if you look at it, it's got little nubbies on it, and
yep.
it is great for your feet. So as a runner, I have had mine. I have recommended this both to runners and yogis and really anybody because most people don't realize we hold our stress in our feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so we can do all the yin yoga at the end of the day, but if we're not massaging our feet, we're not going to sleep well
Right.
because all that stress is still on there. And so I'll use it. It's been in a bunch of our training videos for our 5Ks, right? Because I do a pre-run and a post-run. But I will massage my feet before and after a run. I will massage them if I'm going to be doing a specifically very balanced yoga class or a lot of balance poses
Mm-hmm.
because we put our feet in shoes that squish our feet like this and
Mm-hmm.
our feet need to be this, right? I literally did a balance pose and I had a woman go, I've never been able to get in half moon. I'm like, well, maybe if you took off your shoes. And she was running running shoes. Well, I have them there because I'm taking the next class. I get that. But this is a yoga class and we're doing a balance pose. And your feet are not flat on the ground. And what's amazing to me is you do the ball of your foot, you do the heel of your foot, you really work it into the arch of the foot. And those nubbies are squishy. They're not rigid. You can
Oh,
go other
okay.
places where those nubbies are rigid and it like is a pain in ow, right? Where
Yes,
this
that's what I was
is,
picturing when I saw this. Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, they're squishy. And so they really can get into all the nitty-gritty of that your foot. And
Mm.
so you do the ball, you do the heel, you do the arch, but then you do it along the lines of the bones and back.
Mm.
And then the next line, right? So from your toe all the way back. And you'll watch as your toes, as you're doing it, are like this, and they'll start to go like, what? As you're rolling through it, because you're stretching out everything that's tight in your foot. And then when you do one foot and then put that foot down and you haven't done the other, you're like, whoa. No
Interesting.
wonder I'm wonky, right? It's my foot is not fully flat on the ground and I'm trying to do a tree pose. It's forever. I wear Converse. Most people have seen enough pictures of me. I love Converse. And I love Converse because it keeps my foot flat.
Mm-hmm.
And it causes me to work the arch of my foot versus a shoe that supports the arch of my foot, which eventually that arch falls.
100% with you on
We can
that.
have whole
Mm-hmm.
conversations
That
about
could be a
that,
whole
right?
show. Mm-hmm.
Right? It's the runner wears the support when she's running, but she's barefoot when she's not, right? So I'll do yoga poses in my Converse, and who are with me go to try and do that pose, and they're like going, "Whoa!" I'm like, "You're in running shoes or walking shoes. I'm in flat. That's why it works." So yeah.
And the
So
fact that you've been wearing flat shoes means that you've built up a lot more stabilizer muscles all over in your legs and your feet compared to
Yes.
somebody who's been wearing these supported shoes, that it's going to make it so that they have atrophied all of those muscles, basically.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Cool. Thank you
good
for
for
sharing this
so
with
many
us.
things. That's it.
I
Like
want
I
to try
said,
this now. I expected it to be more rigid, and so I expected it to be more painful, but
yeah.
if it's squishy, then that makes me, okay. It sounds like it's smaller than I thought it was going to be
Yes.
too, if it's only
It's
golf
like
ball
if
size.
so I will go, it's probably maybe a little. So if I go to Petco, right? I have a cat. They
Okay.
have balls, tennis balls for dogs, and they
Uh-huh.
have little ones for cats.
Okay.
That's the size of it, really. And so it's 99 cents for the little ball, but you can't squish it as much because you'll squish it flat.
Okay.
But it'll give you an idea. I buy those little cat ones at Petco for 99 cents each, and I literally give them away in my yoga classes.
That's funny.
I
I
throw
just use
them
a golf ball.
across the room, right? I'm like, here you go, here you go, here you go. And then I let them try mine. I wash them in between. So I have two, I have three. I have two in my yoga bag and I have one at home. And yeah, then they're like, oh, okay, now I know. I have a student that went to Amazon because you can get it on Amazon, and she bought 7 for her family. And she gave them away to her family members as gifts
There you go.
because they genetically have an issue with their feet.
Mm.
And so they do find that their feet are exhausted at the end of the day, but didn't have a way to work it through. And so she did.
Cool.
Anyway,
I love it. I'll put the link to that too. And this also, we are not sponsored by Trigger Point or
no,
anything. That was not a sponsored shout out. That's just legit something Kathy likes. So we're just sharing it with you. But I will put the link if you guys want to find it.
I
All
have
right,
my
cool.
original one from Blogfest. That's where I
Nice.
met them.
Oh, it's from Blogfest? I might actually
Yeah,
have one
Blogfest,
somewhere
they
then.
came and they did a booth at
I remember
Blogfest
that. I
because of
remember
Idea
that.
World. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Maybe I have one of those. I should go look for that thing.
You're going to be like,
All
what?
right.
Oh my God, this has been in my house for 10 years
I
now?
never even tried it. All right. That brings us to the end of the show. Kathy, thank you so much. You are such a gem. I'm just so grateful for all the things with you. I mean, for this show for sure, in all the ways. You guys, Kathy is doing a lot behind the scenes. And if you see graphics going up, most likely Kathy made it. If you see something cool we made on social media, most likely it was Kathy. And plus, Kathy, tell us when your classes are and the next fitness thing.
So I do our walking class at 10 a.m. on Tuesday. So I'm on Tuesdays. I'm also at 10 o'clock, at 10:30. Yeah, so 10 to 10:25. Then I do yoga, and then I do the wellness walk. And we get a little more woo-woo sometimes, even in that. So, and those are all on Tuesdays. And then I'm on the second Saturday, I teach as well.
Right. So check out Kathy's class on Tuesdays and some Saturdays, and it's awesome. And in the on-demand library also, because Kathy has a
Yes.
ton of classes in there. And her wellness walks are pure magic. And if you go in there and you need something to walk to that's a replay, that is an excellent choice. And she loves to label them too, so you would actually know what topic you were going to be going into. It's great.
And in some cases, they're two-parters.
Ooh.
And there's one, I think one is a three-parter because it was such
What?
a great topic. We just kept talking about it deeper and there was a lot of interaction. So if you've got those 2 and 3-parters, there's a lot of good juicy stuff in there. Yeah.
Check it out. All right. So, and now the time's come to dance it out at the end of the show. Let's do it. Thank you. And here we go. Thank you, team, for being here live.
Thank you, thank you.
Erin says, thank you so much, Kathy and Alexis. Marissa says, thank you. Mom says, that was a great show.